Okay, so we've gotten a lot of things under our belt already on how to select and organize the output. We're going to do something really cool, which is actually format the output in two different ways. And this code actually gives us both of these ways. And I will split those out a little bit so you can see what's going on here. So here we have selected the product description. So this one here, and we've got some funky things in here. And then we've selected the product finish. So instead of a comma, which is normally we have product's description, comma, product finish, you have the and symbol, and then quotes is available in with another and symbol. And notice that there's a space between the quote and the words. Okay, so that's the first thing to notice. What's going to happen here is that the data from both of those fields are going to get smushed together into one field, and it's going to be formatted in a nice way. The second thing we're going to do is that new column that we're creating is going to be named as furniture finish instead of well, it's a combination of fields, so it wouldn't even have a name of its own. If it was just one word, we wouldn't even need these brackets. We could just have it as like that, and that will work. However, if you want to have two words, then you need to put the square brackets around it so it knows that that's one thing. And then we're going to pull together a second one here from the product table. So let's see what that looks like. All right, so you see that our furniture finish worked. Beautiful. The second one actually didn't work. The reason why is because it's not a new thing, and the unit price, if you remember, that's actually already basically an alias, a caption for standard price. So that actually overrid the SQL. So if you run into that, then that's why that's not working for you. And that's a known bug. Or a feature. Bug or feature, whatever, but however you want to look at that. And here we have, so the cherry and wood is available in, as the words that we had in our quotation marks, is available in cherry. Birch coffee tables is available in birch. So that's one of those things, you know, our data isn't formatted like the junk data here is that there's not a standard product description. And so when we're writing these, they're not going to turn out great. Garbage in, garbage out. So note to self there. But yeah, so that's two new tricks you just learned here of using the the as for the furniture finish up here. Oh, that's wrong thing. There we go. The SQL there. And then using this ampersand is available in. What are common uses for that? If you have your columns in for your names in two separate columns and you want to print it out as like last name, comma, first name, you can actually, instead of doing the is available in, you do comma space like that. If you're doing like address labels or something like that, like the masquerade ball that we'd had in our quiz, they would do like Milady, Audrey, you know, Milord, Ben. So they have these like fancy tiles in front, so you can do stuff like that. So so putting in those columns together into one is really useful. That's probably the most common uses, but some of you who've worked with SQL might have other examples. Okay, so with this tool, we're going to actually move on to aggregate functions. Gonna be honest, as much as I like stats, I don't actually like aggregate functions that much. Like, I get very confused, which is why I saved this for the end. Basically, you can calculate numeric values from the data that you have, generally on an attribute. So it's on the select, which is like this. This is like most of our other things have been on the like the wheres. These are on the selects, so they're kind of different and they're a little harder to remember to put them there because they're not conditions. So generally, because it's applying to the, I guess because it's applying to the data itself, is why it's on the select. And you can do pretty common stuff. Like, this is the stuff that people need in business case uses a lot, you know, not like fancy stats, but like counts, sums, min, max, average, pretty normal. So we're going to do an example here. So we're going to try to find the sum, max, minimum, and average of standard price for all products. Actually, let's do the simpler one first, and we're going to select the count of product ID from product. So the question is, how many products do we have? We can see that 21 is the last ID number here. Let's see what this says. It says 19. Is that accurate? We can go here and look. There's actually only 19 records. There's numbers that are missing in our product IDs here. So this is, click the right thing to get into SQL. So that's the thing. What would happen if we replace that with a star? Oh, look, same answer. Because it's the same number of rows. So, because that's the table. So that's good to know. So that's a nice, easy, quick way to use SQL to actually get the number of records in your table. So that's kind of cool. All right, let's go back to this more complicated example. So we're getting all these different functions on our standard price from product table. And cool, math happened. Awesome. What in the world do these mean? If you didn't already have written down there that sum, max, min, and average, like, that's pretty sucky in terms of output. Accurate, but not great. So what would be better? Maybe if we took what we just learned for putting this stuff on top of our tables and use that as function. So here, this is the same thing. I just broke it down into the little rows so it's easier to see. So set sum as sum price, as max, as min, as average for the product table. Now, when you run it, we get like table headers, column headers. We have it labeled. So now we know what the world we're looking at. So that's a nice combination use for the aggregate query.